Got B with a cool smoke all the way from T-spawn, landing on the headshot box, denying a bit of info, but look at Apex moving up with his USPS. There's 3 people waiting, and next with the instant reply, Kiyoshima gonna get overwhelmed here. He gets a kill, but he goes down to Speedy, and now in the middle, NBK fighting it out. He gets dropped by Dennis, and that leaves Happy and Kenny.
Lovely little start here for Mousesports. Let's see if they can finish off. Happy gonna push in here, almost getting the first kill. A little crouch, I feel, spoiled his party there. And it is now all on Kenny S, which Dennis will deal with. And just like that, Mousesports lose 1 man and not a whole lot more. Picking up the pistol here. And we saw Mousesports on day 1 against Renegades honestly smash them on Dust2. We saw Chris J and Nex in particular were phenomenal that game. Then yesterday we saw them take on TSM as well on this map, which didn't quite go as well for them. They lost that one 16-8. I mean, TSM, not exactly a bad Dust2 team either, but they played that one, T-side in particular, very standard, and Mousesports didn't have an answer to that one. Envy certainly should have something up their sleeves for this, but it's a good start for Mouse. Yeah, and look, I want to believe, I'm absolutely going to ask Scott this later on. That smoke that he put up on the headshot box is usually an indication that you're going to be running short. While they have 3 people waiting up a dark, it's almost like they were actually baiting someone to push aggressive from B bomb side. Yeah. Because obviously at that point, if Envy are thinking, well, they're going short, let's check up a dark and see if we can, you know, wrap around them quick and come in and help out the A bomb side. I would not put it past Scott to think of a strat that is that elaborate. Very, very cool stuff. And Mousesports are, that's why they're such a fun team to watch, by the way. But Envy are notorious for winning the follow-up rounds here. Pistol, armor, that's their specialty. And they've got 3 CSAT 75s. That's a long time since we've seen that. 2 Deagles as well. Let's see if they can do some damage. Well, they got 1 man that's Happy camped out here on short, and they've not checked here. This could be very, very dangerous. Happy gonna hold it off there. Does manage to get himself 1, but Nex and Chris J with a grenade there will be able to finish off. Chris J also picking off Kenny, and it's not looking good for Envy. Buy up in the second round there. Armor, as you mentioned, 3 CZs coming forward. That's a Deagle here for Keo. And it's looking like Mousesports will convert and put round 2 on the board. Spiddy is going to be watching down the end of long. This bomb site on full lockdown here for Mousesports. And you see Envy not too concerned with trying to push back in a 2 versus 4. They'll wait for any exits that are possible, maybe get themselves an SMG or a rifle, and if not, then save that CZ and the Deagle for the next round. Yeah, I think that's exactly right, and it's not a bad idea at this point. We were talking about what ifs in the last match. You have to wonder what would have happened if Happy had somehow got the better timing up there, or had just generally had a better weapon. It is hard to kill 3 people with a CZ when they're all lined up like that. So it looked like a bit of a scary moment for Mousesports, but they make it out here, and it's going to be 2-0 leading into the 3rd round, where you're right, they save the Deagle, the CZ, the armor, and the 1 smoke on Apex in case they need that for anything. Chris J, we'll see if he can find his day 1 form, where he went massive against Renegades in that 16-2 victory on Dust2. And hopefully, for Mousesports at least, avoid his day 2 form on Dust2, when they went down 16-8 to TSM. But of course, this round, Apex and Keo keeping that armor and head armor even from Keo from round number 2. See a couple of P250s added in as well. Mousesports will get 1, but Apex actually will level things up. The question now is if he's able to get in there and actually pick up that weapon, and he will be able to get in there. So basically a freebie AK here for Apex. Very, very important, and nicely done as well. That could make a difference. Chris going to be jumping up there and takes that NBK. Did I have armors to the scout? Deals a tremendous amount of damage. Apex now looking for a headshot, and they should be able to guess that he might be here. They are wrapping one person around long as well, which means Apex position is going to be compromised in a couple of seconds here. But he gets a good headshot. A second one on God. B turns around for the triple. He sprays him down. It's another headshot, and now Nex is alone. Apex, what a monster. He did it on day 1, day 2. He was a bit more quiet. And day 3, he's come full circle looking for the 4th shot. Here it comes. Nex trying to stay out of his line of sight, but Apex wants it. It's going to be Kenny to get it, and that's Envy stealing it away. What a godlike performance. And there it is. I mean, you push through those middle double doors. Yeah, you know they're on an eco. You know that they saved those pistols even from the last round before. You push through there alone, you get taken down. The smoke means that Apex can pick himself up an AK, and just with that move, EnVy are able to win the round. And we see here then for Mousesports, got enough money even from that loss to actually buy up 4 AKs here. Got beat rocking the Tech 9. And for EnVy on the other side, we still have a scout there for MBK. The rest of them with M4s or AKs in hand, so a fairly balanced round here if you total up grenades and exactly the loadouts of each player. So this one about as fair as it can get equipment-wise. The question is, what are Mousesports going to do? We see that they have 3 men in middle, one by those long A double doors. So a slow start here for the Germans in round number 4.
If they wrap B that last round, they probably win it. If the guy running long is a little bit faster, then Apex is trapped between long and short, and it doesn't work out either. So many things had to go right. That's a highlight for a very, very long time, that one for Apex. MBK down in pit, flashing himself out. He only has a scout. Very tough position for him here, but he actually does get shot in on Dennis, and now Kenny showing up. NBK taking down Dennis, and Kenny get a kill on Gob as well, and another one for NBK, leading Nex and Chris.
Well, 2 versus 5, and honestly, almost full HP there for the remaining EnVy players. It's now all on Nex. USP for Happy will come up big for him. He doubles up to win the round for EnVy. And MBK inside of pit. Can't say I'm a massive fan of, you know, jumping scout action, but he made that work. He made that pay off absolutely there for him. Stole that from Chris J in the last round. Must have hit 6 shots there from pit. Maybe 4.
That was very, it was, yeah, I mean, anywhere between 4 and 6. I lost count at some point, but that was obviously very impressive. And I would have thought that was a pretty miserable position to be with a scout. Surely if they speed up behind it, he can't do anything. And Kenny was just a little bit away here. Good kill from Chris, and Happy with a bit of a reply in the middle. And he actually goes down to Nex. What's going on?
Bit of a mad round once again. Eco coming out there as Kenny S. Going to take 1 bullet. Armored up so it won't do too much damage, but you know, you always look at Kenny S, right? He's got an AWP. If EnVy is to have a good game, he's got to hit those shots. Missing a couple there. We'll have MBK, who so far is on a bit of a tear, and it leaves just 3 here for Mousesports, including Nex with that AK-47. Thanks to the earlier kill there in middle, but 3 versus 3. Next frag gonna be important. MBK will go down. Got B also coming in from short here. There's that man on site. It's Kenny S, who again misses with the AWP, and Chris J is gonna punish him for that one. Bomb will get planted, and now Keo left in a 1 versus 3 with it all to do.
Just walking up here, he's got a flashbang, but as soon as they know where he is, they should be able to play this just for the time. And yeah, Kiyoshima, I think he realizes this is not gonna work out. Bomb was also planted in a decent position for Mousesports, meaning they could kind of cover it from long as well. So really not a lot that he could have done here. Great round from Mousesports, and a bit of a tactical timeout, in fact. What do you think about that?
Wow.
Joe? That's very early, isn't it?
It's very strange. I mean, they're going to go up 3-2 here. And I'm wondering... Okay, Chris J says tech pause. I don't know if that was meant to be tac pause or whether they actually have a problem, that's why they're pausing this one out. But it makes literally no sense to me that they would take a tactical pause 3-2 up. No, on the T side of Dust2.
They probably, I have to assume they misspoke at that point. All right. Yeah, one guy did disconnect. So just a technical issue does make a big difference. Obviously, you can have the tactical pause where we actually discuss what you're going to be doing and then resume the game. You're allowed 1 per game. So this is an unusual start to a game, isn't it? We end up with the people playing with the pistols just being a little bit better than the rifles.
Always a setup for a good game, in my opinion. I mean, when you have a start like this one, yeah, a bit of chaos. I think good for everyone that's watching at home there. Quick look down the scoreboard. Obviously, Apex sat on 4 kills, most of which came in the first couple of rounds for him. MBK, of course, who had a great bit of work from pit with that scout that he'd stolen off Chris J. also coming up big, but looks like Gobby is now back in game, so we can continue this one. Mousesports 3-2 in the lead, and there is Kenny S. Says to Chris J, you might have my magic stick, but I'm better than you.
Double grenade in, and that's going to be MBK picking up the kill, and the second one as well. Apex pushing top mid, and Gobby's going to see it coming, but it might have been too late anyway here, as we're in a 2v4. And the bomb currently stuck out along somewhere, and up at the A-bomb site, Happy is there, and he can waste a lot of time for them and just wait for his teammates to show up, and that's what he's doing with this flashbang. A grenade would kill Speedy outright, and oh, rip. Oh, he's on 1 health. Please. There's the finish. How does that work?
Almost rip. Yeah, 1 HP left after that one.
The shrapnel, it only hit his feet.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I'm always concerned about how a grenade can land on your face and you only lose half of your health anyway, but maybe I'm misunderstanding the physics of the world, but
it does not seem reasonable. But actually, sometimes it does go through armor and it does a good 90 damage. I think that's still a bug that's in there somewhere.
if we wanted to, play a realistic physics, we'd obviously play Call of Duty and all that stuff. So,
I see what you're doing.
It was a joke, Twitch chat. I'm not looking at you right now, but I believe you're saying something bad about me for that one.
Yes.
Yes.
You know it's bad when Twitch chat is actually sort of internalized into your head. You're not reading it, but you're still feeling it.
Still feeling it. I mean, most of the time, that's the great thing about Twitch chat. You don't actually have to see it to know what people are writing in there most of the time. It's all situational stuff. Either way, it's 3-3 here between Envy and Mousesports. A very close start to things. Mouse struggling a little bit for cash this round. Couple of Tech 9s for Dennis and Speedy, and Chris J has gone down to Kenny S, so he's stamping his authority on this game already, despite in the first couple of rounds a couple of missed shots. Seems to have got his groove on,
which is super important. A lot of people have been doubting this particular player, saying his prime was last year. This year, he's been completely absent. Great grenade from Happy there. And now following up, Apex pushing closer. That's Dennis gone. And next in line is going to be Gobby, which means Next is alone in a 1v5. And yeah, a shot on Kenny is all it's going to be. Apex ending up with a triple kill. But I firmly believe that Kenny will be right back at his prime at some point. I don't think you can just lose talent like that, but I also believe Markelov is going to be back to his 1.6 format, at least close to it. I can't see Markelov forever being where he is now.
The glory days of Markelov may possibly at some point be back.
I believe.
We'll see that. We all believe in that one. Just put some kind of numbers to that, actually. Kenny S's rating on LAN in 2015, 1.12. If you look back to his 2014 high, was of 1.27. So yes, wow. Technically his rating is down. Problem is, Titan lost a lot this year, so it's kind of hard to compare on that one. This round is, of course, a eco for Mousesports. So, well, Envy just basically wiping the floor with them from that. That will be another round going to Envy. So they got a couple of rounds lead now on Mouse, 5-3. You see that spirits high with Envy, and why not? We start off this tournament here in Intel Extreme Masters with 4 lives. Everyone else is dropping lives left, right, and center, and Envy still sat happy with 4 remaining.
Not an easy team to defeat, it seems, even with the roster change, and normally we do expect it to be a wild one. Look at a shot from Kenny in the middle, taking down Nex, and he seems to be on form today. God, though, is going to be taking down Apex, and that's going to open up the B-bomb side. If Kiyoshima falls here, bomb is on top of the box, which means they have to jump up and get it. That's a disaster.
Literally the worst position that a bomb could ever fall there, on top of that box. At least it's, technically still reachable, which is a good thing. There's a nade from Kenny SCZ as well. He just hops there just to get a bit more vision of Chris J, who's left with 1 HP. Sneeze on him, and he's dead at this point. Keo will put a bullet in his head, though, just to make sure. Put him down, and that is 6 rounds to 3. And Keo being a big part of that round there for Envy, managing to get 2 as they entered that B-bomb site. And, luckily or not, it depends on which way you want to look at it. It's not like you can decide where that bomb drops, but on top of that box is always going to be a nightmare to get back.
Yeah, and that could have spent a lot of time just trying to get it, but they ended up getting killed before they even happened there. Aggressive move from Happy. Kenny picking up Gobby as well, and that's going to be Happy with another one, and the round is done. Double kill for NBK to finish it, 7-3. Envy are looking completely dominant right now. It was a bit shaky in the beginning as Mousesports did win that one eco round they had, but since then it's been all Envy.
Absolutely no doubt in that one. I mean, if you look down the scoreboard, Kenny, who's having a very solid start at 9 frags, he's Happy that leads the way in terms of kills, though, with 10 to his name. And even Keo, you know, who only sat at 4, instrumental in that last round. Chris J, though, will open up fragging. As I was talking about Keo, it is him that goes down. So 1 man less on that B side, and Chris J will actually pick off the second. So landing 2 frags fairly early on in this round. That B side now has a 3rd man going over to defend, and Envy may have lost their stranglehold here on this round. Let's see though what NBK can do. He's blind as a bat, and Gobby will come in and kill him off.
And a bit of credit to Mousesports here as they got those 2 opening frags in B. You could get carried away and say, well, surely that's all there is. Let's just run in, but they're playing it very safely, and that's just some good in-game leadership here coming out from Gobby, keeping his troops at bay and making sure that no one is going to throw away what is, you know, a round that is 99% won here. 5v2, they'd have to make a big mistake, Mousesports, to give this up to Kenny or Happy. Kenny gonna miss the first shot, running back into the bomb site, and he's realizing he's trapped in here, goes down to Nex, and Happy is gonna be dropped as well. Nex with a double kill, and we should really just try and highlight Nex. He's already probably one of the best players in Germany, has, it feels to me, like the potential to become like an absolute top player if you consider the whole European scene. But on Dust 2, he finds like a new gear. He's incredible on this map.
Yeah, and for me, that's fantastic to see, you know, after so many years in such a strong scene as Germany is, to be honest. Like, always finding new talent. That's still an incredible thing, in my opinion. There is Chris J, who's not quite German, but, you know, Dutch is close enough, I suppose. And he will open up the frag in there by once again picking off Kirishima. Interesting thing is, you know, these rounds is 7-4. They've not been particularly close. Like, it's been a bit of a landslide for whoever manages to pick up that one. Of course, Mousesports really whitewashing round number 11. And they've started off once again with Chris J picking off Kirishima. There is Apex, though, with the AWP, taking down Nex through mid.
Yeah, it's a double-up setup. We really rarely see Apex or Ping. We'll see if he can best Chris J, who is crouching in, and it will happen. Apex with a double kill here. Dennis pushing into the middle, but Happy's position is designed for exactly this kind of push, and Apex is going to see that he actually lands the shot through the wooden plate there, and it's going to be up to Gobby. He takes one and turns a quick 180 to shoot through the smoke. Is he going to be able to make it in? He will, to put the bomb down. 1v3 clutch. Do you believe in it, Joe?
I don't know. I'm a firm believer in Gob's skills, but 1 versus 3. Well,
oh wow.
I didn't even get to explain myself and my thoughts there before Gob gets shot through a dead body.
Yeah, and that's the key point. That body can actually look a little bit different from Happy's point of view than it can from Gob. So, yeah, the corpse on the ground there, it's actually a subject that's been brought up every once in a while. Should there be a mechanic that sort of allows the corpse to disappear after like 4 seconds or something? Might be worth thinking about. You can have very unfortunate circumstances where something comes up. Not sure if that was it here. Either way, it was a 1v3, so very unlikely that he was going to win it anyway. But NBK already tagged through the middle. Chris with the shot there. Kirishima pushing in, but gets shot down, as does NBK from the grenade of Dennis.
That's really well played there as well. Like, you generally have a feeling, all right, I've legged him, I believe, which, you know, a lot of Opers just say anyway. I've legged the guy going to B, guys. Yeah, of course you did. But the follow-up grenade then was perfectly placed. NBK going down to that one, so really well coordinated from Mousesports. They have, however, lost 3 men pretty quickly here. We are going to see them on this A-bomb site. Smoke to cover CT. We have Kenny S on short. He's always going to be a little bit of a problem. Bomb is on the A site. Speedy's going to take down Apex. Here comes Happy, but again, Speedy will get the jump on him there, and Kenny S only 5 HP remaining. You have to feel that unless he gets an early frag here, he might just thinking about keeping that magic stick for the next round.
What a tricky position here. He spots out where Chris is, but he might have seen him as well, and he did, jumping up and shooting through the box to take down Kenny. But the hero of that round, definitely Speedy. The first kill that he took over by Long is very impressive, but turning around and getting Happy as well was unlikely. And if Happy wins that fight, then there's no chance, I think, for Chris to come out alive. So 8-5, best Mousesports can do is 8-7, and that might actually be enough to have a pretty good second half.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, when we look back at their game against TSM yesterday, we're 11-4 down at the half. Here's Apex, by the way, going up very aggressive. Godby, though, sitting back here with the rest of Mousesports. And Apex will be dealt with fairly early on in this round. So Mouse have a 5-4 advantage. Looking to move their scoreline back up to 8-6, keep it as close as they possibly can. There is Happy on short, though. Again, playing a typical Happy, sneaky position. We saw that early on with the CZ, and he popped out at exactly the time where there were 3 guys in front of him. Managed to get 1, but couldn't get any more. And now we're all square in terms of the man count. And it looks like Mousesports are going for that B-bomb site.
Oh, bomb dropped in the middle, though, as Kiyoshima picks up the kill, but there's NBK going down. Did he not have head armor, or am I mistaken here? Kiyoshima jumping up and can't see anything through the smoke. There's 35 seconds. That Molotov, though, is going to force him back, and they are coming in through the window as well. Kiyoshima in a lot of trouble, and he goes down. That's just Happy that was next with the shot, and now it's all on Kenny. Once again, it seems like he's destined to be the last man standing in all of these rounds, and it's not a lot you can do with an AWP against 3. He takes one and then runs for it, and I don't blame him. It must mean Envy don't have a lot of money for the last round, and indeed they don't. Certainly not enough to buy an AWP.
The fact that Kenny S has been the last man standing in the last few rounds is actually a really good sign for Mousesports. It means that they're actually reading Envy really well, staying away from the AWP, and Kenny's then isolated on the other bomb site where Mousesports aren't pushing.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely right. That's definitely a really good point. So I don't know, that it means at least they respect him. He has had some really good shots as well, and they don't feel like challenging him. Instead, they've been picking off quite a lot of people over at B, and whenever Envy try and push aggressively, they seem to be ready for that. Actually, it feels like Envy's best choices have been either fighting at short or trying to get some picks at middle. That's when they get the really good starts.
Well, Kenny S here, they seem to have had exactly the same feelings as him, because he says, guys, you know what, I'm just going to go B, and I'll try and get rid of Chris J. That's a decent little nade. Well, second one will be even better there. Kenny down to less than 40 health, and you see a slightly more aggressive position here, peeking out in towards tunnels. There's a guy on the box off to his left. He drops down at the perfect time as Kenny pushes through, and yes, this is aggressive, but more importantly, he's full of information, this little push. They know they're not towards B tunnels. And at the end of the day, it's just 2. It doesn't leave too many options open then, as Apex is going to drop Dennings from behind.
Very great stuff. Oh, but Kenny goes down. That was a headshot from Nex all the way from top middle. They have so much information, with Apex playing essentially behind enemy lines here. Mousesports, they're in a lot of trouble here for the 15th round. They're setting up for a push on Long, but I'm not sure they're realizing that any second now, Apex is about to bring this party to a stop.
Uh-oh, he has finished off Gob's party. Speedy will also go down. And there's now 2 more men to find, Nex and Chris J. Nex does get the better one. Chris J missing the no-scope there onto Happy, who will happily finish him off with the USP. But Nex is 1 versus 3. A man to his right, and he won't be able to find that one. It's NBK that wins that and gives a half-time score here of 9-6 in favor of Envy.
And Apex, I believe, finishing this first half at 15 kills, which I guess is about half as good as Device, but still very impressive. If you can get a kill per round consistently, you're doing a fantastic job already. So a lot of credit to Apex for playing as well. I think it was 15 for Happy, 14 for Apex. So both of them playing really well. Excited to see Apex still stepping it up. Consistency was one of the issues that people were bringing up with him. Is, yeah, he's got a high peak, but how often can he hit it? And this tournament, he seems to be pretty stable.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one. And that, as I said, that was, one of the big stories coming into this. Obviously, Kenny S and Apex joining Envy. how worth was that move? You know, how did they pick the best 2 players that they possibly could in that scenario? So far, it seems to be working out with them. We're talking about a team that's 2 weeks old here. There's Chris J, though, taking down Apex while we're on that subject. And if you look down Mousesports, it's Chris J and Next at the top of the scoreboard, and we've said time and time again, if Mousesports is to be successful, they are 2 of the biggest names in this team that need to be racking up frags.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And look at this here. Already a good start for Mousesports. Happy with the reply that one, Speedy. And very curiously, Envy had 3 people with grenades, only 2 with armor this round. That's highly unusual. So I'm wondering what they've got planned here. They seem to be putting some pressure on short, but when you got 3 smokes, you can actually block off the B bomb site entrances for a long time. You just need to get in there and get the bomb down. And I think that's what they're doing now. Dennis trying to see if he can get the shot. He does hit the headshot on NBK, and now it's a 2v3. And Dennis, are they going to challenge him once again? He spots the shadow jumping over and goes for a quick peek. Doesn't want to try and deny the plant here. They're waiting for backup Mouse, and that's a smart idea. And there's Dennis with another shot, and Kenny going down to Next. Well played on Mousesports.
I think Dennis needed just 3 bullets there for his 2 kills. Pretty great stuff from him, and that will be Mouse picking up pistol. I think the best for us as spectators of this game, the best thing that could happen for us, bringing Mouse back to 9-7. But let's not forget, the start of the first half was a crazy mess. There was no consistency to the first 5 rounds whatsoever, and we see that Envy now 4 people with armor and head. 3 Tech 9s, a P250, and Kenny S rocking the Scout. So never want to say that this is a done deal at this point.
Well, Kenny's already done some damage to Chris, so that's definitely a good start here for the Envy team. And you're right, it was a mess, and it's partly due to the fact that Envy just have this ability to win these rounds, even though it feels like they shouldn't. They had C sets when they were on the CT side. Now it's 3 Tech 9s. They're setting up on short here, leaving 1 person at long, and there is only Chris J in this A bomb site to stop the plant. So I feel like Envy should get this bomb plant. Grenades raining in. Chris very low on health. I don't think he's going to survive, and a shot to the face will confirm it. Next to take 1. Gob here with a UMP. Quick rotation in from long, but he's very low on health, and he might end up going down. Oh, NBK sees a chance. Just delays the bomb plant.
Yeah, nice call from him there as well to just let off from that one. He's got Kenny S covering from short, who's going to land 2 shots here with that Scout. Make that a 3rd to pick up the kill onto Dennis, and it's now all on Speedy. Bomb planted for short. He's got a flash, he's got a kit. Kenny S is blind. Happy's gonna have to jump shot here, and he will manage to pull it off with a Tech 9. And Envy, we were just saying, they managed to pull off these rounds where, by all rights, they should be dead and buried out of it. And they do it again. Incredible.
Unreal. That is, I mean, that's pretty a good 3 out of 5 on the Cali scale, I imagine there. The killing a guy defusing. Very upsetting indeed. I like the fact that Speedy was trying to, like, putting out that flashbang and just holding it down. That's not a bad idea. Obviously, it prevents the sound from being heard, and also, and maybe if you get the perfect flashbang, it's going to work. Hiroshima, what a way to start off a round.
Yeah, and we're talking about here Keo, who's on his team at least way behind in terms of frags. He's got 6 to his name now. Kenny S, the nearest to him, with 12, but he's had some really impact frags as well that have certainly helped his team out there. This one going to be no different. Kenny S will deal with Gob, and it's now Chris J and Speedy. Full eco for them here. No nades, no armor, just a couple of USPSs. And, well, this will be easy work for whoever has the pleasure. For Envy will be Happy and Kenny S that deal with that one. So Envy taking a step back up to 11-7 to the Frenchman.
We're up to 19 kills for Happy, and on the other team it's Chris and Nex who are top fragging at 14 each. That's not a surprise to me at all. Mousesports though, obviously maybe not so much in this round, although they have got smokes and flashbangs, which is very pleasing. It's going to be in the 20th round where they'll get a chance to really make a stand. At that point in time, it should be 12-7, and it's still possible for them to come back, although obviously will not be easy. Envy, they want to see if they can make it all the way to the end of the tournament with all their lives intact.
And that's one thing I'm not sure if we actually mentioned. Obviously, it's $500 for a win, but at the end of the tournament, you actually get $500 for every life you've got left. So right now, Envy are sat on $2,000, like literally $2,000 in their bank for their lives.
I did not know that. Speedy is going to end up going down here. You know, Envy, they're a team that like to gamble at the casino, so $2,000. I've already seen a couple of casinos in Cologne. I can see why they're so anxious to stick with this. 2,000 on red. NBK getting almost run over here with the scout, trying to see if he can stay alive. The bomb is not down. In fact, it's trapped on short, which is exactly where Mousesports is. It's 2v3. If they win this round, then we'll have almost a repeat of the first half as well. And then, oh my God, Nex gets that kill, but Chris goes down. And now Nex is in a 1v2 with about 25 seconds. Bomb is going down up at A, and he does not have an HE grenade to stop it. Running in here, making a lot of noise, and goes down to Apex. So a triple for Apex and a 12-7 scoreline. That was a close call, though.
Close round completely. I mean, the problem is there for Mousesports. Obviously, they were on eco, so I say a problem for Mousesports, more of a problem for Envy in all reality. But this round, they do have money to spend, and they have indeed spent it, including the AWP of Chris J. He needs to go big here, or Mousesports could be losing a life. Just 4 rounds for an Envy win. Let's see. Early smoke out here onto double doors at 8. And stop any push right through there for Apex. And Mousesports playing this one very defensively. Decided not to peek early.
And look at this little trick here. Happy shooting through the wall in spite of the fact that Apex is already inside of the longhouse. So that's just like trying to bait anyone out to come and peek. If they hear that shot from far away, maybe they'll try and push through. So just some mind games on a very sort of small level here. But still probably worth doing. I like the fact that MBK's kept with the scout as well. He has been hitting some really ridiculous shots in the past, especially on Dust2. But it feels like it's going to be a setup for a long push, splitting 3 on short and 2 on long. And the Mousesports setup here, if they lose either Gob or Speedy, if they lose one of these 2 angles, it could get very tricky.
One thing we saw yesterday for Mousesports against TSM was, you know, TSM would smoke off short, flash in there, Chris J would be blind, and they drop Carrigan down into the CT spawn. And well, it doesn't seem to be too much different from this one. We will see the smokes coming in. Got B, though, is crucially still alive here on the site. Gets himself one. Will flash up there. Does manage to kill off Keo as well. And it's now all on Kenny S. Magic stick in hand, but he goes down. And Mousesports finally, with guns in hand, will come back into the game, bringing us to 12-8.
Not at all a bad round there for Mousesports. Very, very important. I love the flashbang from Goppy. I think he basically put that on top of his own head and just jumped up while it was sort of mid-air. So very, very well done. Gives Mousesports a chance for the comeback here. They're 4 rounds behind Envy. But the economy for the French team is not great. If they can just win this 1 round, they're going to be in a much better position. And I think of a bit of a mess up there on the tower. Supposed to look into, and that actually misses the timing. Apex might have been dead if they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, almost certainly, to be honest. I mean, Kenny S is going to edge his way in here, but Mouse have already backed away from that. Chris J going to just adjust position, have a little bit of a peek through middle, see what he can find out. Again, the smoke was put down fairly early on towards the end of long 8 on those double doors. MBK also just creating a bit of noise over towards B, but Apex is already out here and having a looking towards that A site. Heard the AWP of Chris J going off. But Envy seemed fairly determined to once again going towards this A bomb site, which Mousesports really well done last time. And there it is again. I just mentioned it around before. Yeah. Managing to get down into that CT spawn. It was a real problem for Mousesports against TSM. And again, it's happening to them. Hopefully this time, a little bit better communicated. It seems that way as Nex already here. Just going to be sat outside of B, but MBK gets the better of him, and it's now just 1 man defending this B side. That'll be Dennis, who's having a look towards window. Gets the first man. MBK down, but Kenny S gets him, and that is surely going to be a bomb plan.
Man, 3v3. The bomb is going to be going down any second now. 10 seconds left as Kenny picks up Gobby. It's now on Speedy and Chris. And Chris will actually land that shot on Happy. It's still possible, but Kenny in the back lines. The triple kill. Speedy sneaking in. 22 health. Oh, it doesn't get the spray down. Kiyoshima surely should have been dead, but it's not going to happen. And now Envy very close to a victory here. No money at all for Mousesport, except for Dennis, who's got about 4,000. Everyone else is very poor, and it's 13-8. If you got that shot on Kiyoshima and Kenny misses even 1 bullet, there's a good chance.
Which I think, in fairness, he should have killed Kiyoshima there. Like, he should have probably been dead in that scenario. Mouse back onto the eco. You mentioned Dennis, he was the only one with any kind of decent money. He bought himself a 5-7, but it's not going to matter here. Mousesports been knocked out from every side, and Envy not really going to even lose much health from that one. I don't think really threw many grenades either. An easy round on the board from them. Mousesports now have to win 8 in a row to win this game without an overtime.
Yeah, a bit of a smile there on Kiyoshima, and I mean, he should be smiling. They are very close to defeating Mousesports here on Dust2, which I think is quite an achievement. You know, a new team playing a Mousesports team that is very strong on this map. Definitely impressed by Envy. Once again, they've had a very, very good tournament. A huge confidence boost, obviously, having just picked up 2 new members. And Mousesports, this isn't quite like a full force up. They're just evening out the money with a bit of armor and a couple of grenades here, trying to see if they can make it work. I think it's a reasonable idea, but Envy are playing it very safely and should be in a good position. Dennis does take down MBK, but that just equalizes it.
Yeah, Mouse were after that round in that horrible scenario of we've not quite got enough to buy up properly. So we'll just spend up here on the 4, see what we can get. Happy and Apex, though, gonna get the kills. Happy's like, I'm tapping for days, boys, but I'm not landing these shots. Kenny says, no worries, bro, I got you. I'll just finish that one off for you. See a little chuckle for Kenny S as he comes in. And it's Envy now up to match point. Mousesports gonna spend up finally, but it's a long road back.
That little pistol duel there surely must go down as like one of the manliest fights of all time. Nobody flinching, people just accepting.
Happy's one move was, all right, I'm reloading, I'm going to jump up.
Yeah. I'll make it a little bit difficult.
Let's just change my hitboxes a little bit, see if you can actually land anything from that, but doesn't happen. Envy, match point, and still, you know, it's a funny thing because everyone was looking towards Envy and thinking, how good are they going to be? They've had a couple of weeks with Apex and Kenny to really, you know, practice things up. That's an almost jumping headshot there from the AK of Kyo to start things off for Envy. How good are they going to be? And honestly, they're literally the only team that still has all 4 lives intact.
Yeah.
And for me, they've not really felt challenged mostly throughout this entire tournament yet.
No, they've seemed very solid indeed, and now it's going to be up to Dennis to try and see if he can stop this from happening, but no, it's not going to be the case. Next, trying to push in there, but Mousesports actually seem to be sort of breaking apart here in the 24th round. Gob and Speedy are left, and I said that too soon, it's just Speedy left in a 1v4. It seems like Envy about to take down Mousesports 16-8 here on Dust2. Very impressive. Speedy, last man, he goes down to Happy, who I think ends up with a top fragger.